and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the week 18's weekly wrap up. Oh, the dates, May 2nd through May the 8th. Okay, as I said, this is the week 18's weekly wrap up for May the 2nd through May the 8th. Hopefully I am recording with my earbuds in so you guys can hear me clearer, hopefully. Fingers crossed, and you're not getting any background, although I can't hear what's going on over there, so hopefully there's no feedback or anything like that. But happy Mother's Day to all those that are mothers out there. I greatly appreciate your patronage here on Patreon, and I want to say a very special thank you from one mom to another, and let's enjoy our day. Yes. So later I'll be getting Sue food, but today we spent our time at Fish's swim meet, so that was loads of fun. Actually, that was uber weird not being able to hear anything that was going on around me, so I figured I'd take one out and hope that it doesn't bother the pickup of all of that's going on. Oh my goodness. So this week was interesting. I got vaccinated, got my first shot, really excited about that. Haven't had any side effects, so I'm waiting for those to actually occur. So far so good, but hubby, we're pretty sure had COVID, like before it was COVID, like before quarantine and before everything got shut down. So, cause he had some serious like adverse reactions, like 4 hours after he got his first injection, and then like a week later he got sick again, and then he got his second shot, and then like 4 hours after that shot he ended up getting sick, and then a week later he ended up getting a little sick again, whereas I got mine and I haven't had any side effects yet. So knock on wood for that, and hope that nothing ends up happening. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else that's really like going on that I really need to tell you guys about. So let's get into the books that I did read last week. I started the week finishing Heirly Ever After by Magan Vernon. Place this in contemporary. Give it 4 stars. Give it 2 Steam fans. Read this as an arc. It is available to you either today or tomorrow. Go check it out. It is super sweet, super fun. It is a royalty romance. So if you have not read Megan's first book in this series, I'll pop the picture in because I have I can't seem to remember what the name of the book is, but it's this one right here. So you are on this journey with Madison, who is the sister to the female character from that book. And Madison is now the female character in Heirly Ever After. She's on a train going to her sister's wedding to this like grumpy grump lord. I think he's a lord. I believe he's a lord. And then she meets up with this guy named Jacob. Well, Jacob took on his grandfather's invitation to the wedding. He happens to be the Scottish side of this English family that has reached out. They're in a kind of a bad way. Wow. They're kind of in a bad way right now. So he doesn't want to go looking for handouts, but at the same time, if they have any rights to the estate and the lordship, the property, what have you, then, you know, he wants them to relinquish it. So Madison and Jacob end up having a chance meeting on the train, and he ends up faking to be her sort of +1 for the wedding, and then come to find out he's actually there for something secret. There was a little bit of repetitiveness within the story, which is why I had to knock it down, but overall it was such a sweet and fun and funny story that I really enjoyed it. The next book that I finished was Dirty Obsessions, which is the Lion and the Mouse series of 5.5 by Kenya Wright. Place this in dark romance. This I give 3.75 stars to. Give it 4 Steam fans. Listen to it as an audiobook. I don't know if it was the change of not audiobook narrators or if it just it really felt really clunky to me. And this story revolves around Misha and Ava, who was in the, I think it was 3.5. They started their story and now we're back to them again in this one. And it just kind of felt clunky with all of the sort of information that was given. I don't even know if it was history, because we had already known, if you read the series as they came out and in order, then you know like the history that's going on and things like that. And I just didn't feel like it really added anything extra to the overall series. It sort of didn't work for me. But we did get another, look into Misha's like possessiveness, and I didn't feel like Ava needed to be a badass, but she kind of wanted to be, but didn't come off right. Something weird like that. It just didn't seem like it was like completely on for me. The next book that I finished was Devil's Deal, which is Devil Duet #1 by Aleatha Romig. Placed this in dark romantic suspense, and I give it 4.5 stars. I had it as an arc. Give this one 3.5 Steam fans, and it's a mystery suspense set in New Orleans, and it's an age gap romance, which I didn't realize was an age gap romance until Aleatha told me. So you have Emma, who is this orphan that she finds out once her parents died that she was adopted, and that technically she is sort of the queen of New Orleans, and Wright is the other sort of king in the organized crime families that rule New Orleans at this point in time. And Wright kind of takes Emma under his protection because the person that Emma thought was her brother is trying to claim her throne from her, and it is so twisty and turny. We don't know what's going on with this. I don't know what's going on with this. So I kind of understood where we were going with it, and then the ending, I knew it was going to be a cliffhanger because it's part of a duet, but the cliffhanger was like, did I really read that ending? Are those things actually happening, or is there something? I can't wait to get to the next book to find out what actually is going on. And the twists and turns are pure Aleatha, and I loved every single moment of it. The next book that I finished was Guardian by Stacie Santoro, and I placed this in a paranormal romance / romantic suspense. And give this one 4 stars, give it 2 Steam fans, read it as an arc. It's part of the Salvation Society that is available today, so go out and get it. If the things that I say throughout this story or throughout this review sound like it's something you want to read. It is the first paranormal book in the Salvation Society, and I was super excited for it. I was a little skeptical when it was brought out that our main male character, Lorcan, was a warlock, and then we have Arabella, and I was like, what is going on? So I was completely drawn in and intrigued by the story. Arabella is Liam and Natalie's daughter, and so she did a stint with the FBI, but has decided to move home because her brother was injured, and she wants to be closer to home, of course. And Liam is like, okay, come on home, what have you. But of course, she gets into some things, and Lorcan is the warlock that is sort of tasked to find this magical piece of work that is hidden. And the reason I didn't completely stay on it is because it got a little clunky towards the middle of it. It felt really, really rich, and not rich in a good way, unfortunately. I think that there's a lot of the middle part that could have been taken out. A couple of the investigations in which Ari and Lorcan investigate could have been taken out, and it was like, okay, that was just a little too many investigations for me. Now I'm not interested as much because it seemed like it was the same sort of oh, we found this magical property, and then, you know, this happens, and then something else happens, something spectacular happens, and it just got a little bit too much. I think if we had cut down, or if, you know, one or two of the scenes had been cut out or cut down, I think it would have flowed a little bit better, because I did get a little bit bored. By the end of it, I was back into it, and loved the happily ever after that we ended up getting, and I was here for the story. The next book that I finished was Aleatha by Tara L. Ames. Tara L. Ames. I said Lee instead of L in my 60-second thoughts over on TikTok. I don't know why I said that. I was in the car at a swim meet, so I was just trying to get it out and make sure that I said it. But this is a romantic suspense, and it's loaded with action. So I give this one 4.25 stars. I give it 2.5 Steam fans. I read this as an arc. It's part of the Salvation Society as well. And this story's connections is Mark and Charlie. And we have Jen and Cade. So, it took me a little bit to figure out where these connections were. So Jen and Cade are friends to lovers, and they're both 9/11 survivors, and they were friends during that time. Their parents were killed during the 9/11 attacks, and you sort of get to see a glimpse into what they were like when they were kids, and then when they were a little bit older, and then when they went their separate ways. So if you like the television show SEAL Team, you are probably going to enjoy this book, because it just seemed like it was an episode of SEAL Team, and I was here for it because I love that show. And yes, all the action, all the angst and craziness that goes on with a mission, and it was in this book, and I think you guys should go check that one out. And then the final book that I finished last week was Warrior by A.M Brooks, and I placed this one in contemporary with a slight little bit of romantic suspense that goes along with it as well. And I give this one 4 stars. I give it two Steam fans, I think it is. This is an arc. This is part of the Salvation Society that comes out today, so go check it out if this sounds interesting to you. So our connection for this one is Mark and Brody. And so we have Colt and Lyric. Colt and Lyric grew up together. They are childhood lovers. This is a second chance. It is slow burn second chance. I was like, oh, wow. It takes a little bit to really find the connection between the Salvation series and this book, and that is because Colt doesn't actually go into the Navy. He goes into the Army, and I can only assume that he becomes a Special Forces operator, because he is then recruited by Cole Security to do a job and to sort of get retribution for a fallen brother that he lost during a mission. And Cole Security recruits him and his other friend, where they end up back in the orbit of Lyric, who becomes a doctor after they had a really bad breakup. There are content warnings in this one for trauma and childhood abuse, death, and grief. Also suicide for this one. So tread lightly with that. This also deals sort of with a 9/11 discussion within it, because part of the death that is discussed is of one of the characters' family members that makes some decisions based off of the 9/11 attacks. So that is what I read last week. Let's talk about what I will be reading this week. I will be finishing the last 2 books that are releasing today in the Salvation Society, which are Shattered by Bella Emy and Gravity by K.L. Jessop, and I am going to be starting a new project, so I'm not going to tell you which books I will be reading this week, but I have about 10 books that I hope to read for this new project that you guys will probably get to see first with early access, or actually it may be exclusive. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to put it together, but I am doing a special project with some books. And the poll for the buddy read should be closed. I don't know how to close a poll here on Patreon, but yesterday, the 7th, was the last day to vote, and it looks like you guys have decided that our buddy read is going to be The Beach in Winter by Leslie Pike. And just as a reminder, it is available on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have that Kindle Unlimited subscription, you can get this for free and be able to read it. It does not have an audiobook, but if you would like to know how to use your text-to-speech on your device to listen and read at the same time, it is robotic, but you can listen to a book and read as it goes along through your device. I enjoy doing that quite a bit. But yeah, so there's that. Also, the other book that was up for the poll, which was The Road to Rose Bend by Naima Simone, is actually the Brown Nipple Challenge book for the month of May that Malone holds. So I will actually be reading this book as well. We may end up talking about it during the Zoom meeting or the Zoom gathering that we will be having on the 27th, I think it is. If it's not the right date, I will put it on the screen somewhere so that you guys can know that again, or you can go back and check out the poll and all that information's in there. I will list the link closer to the time for our buddy meeting, so we can discuss the books or just talk and, chat away, what have you, and things like that. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, which you probably already are. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in another video.